Alright, guys, for the last fantasy clip of the year, we're going to look at the top 10 fantasy disappointments of 2013. Let's start. Number 1, Ray Rice, which is close to my heart. Took him with the number 1 overall pick in my big money league. And, well, with my first round pick at 9, thought he was going to be great. Could have took him LaShawn McCoy. I got Marshawn Lynch later, but I could have taken LaShawn McCoy, Calvin Johnson. I could have had a lot of big names. But no, it went Ray Rice. And what has he done other than against Denver and Chicago? Nothing. That's what. Number 2, CJ Spiller. Now, Doug Marrone said he was going to run him till his guts threw up. And you know what? It didn't happen because I kept watching Buffalo games, and it seemed like Fred Jackson was doing a whole lot more running than CJ Spiller. So, CJ Spiller, number 2. Number 3, Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden actually averaged a pretty high draft pick for being an injury-prone running back. And it's because a lot of people thought, okay, he's in his final contract year. He's going to have to stay healthy or at least make himself be on the field, which he wasn't. He was off the field for a lot of the time. So Rashad Jennings, whoever drafted him for a handcuff, good for you. Number 4, Rob Gronkowski. All we ever heard from Patriots is Rob Gronkowski will be back week 4. And a lot of people drafted him pretty early for, someone who's had injuries like Darren McFadden, around the 5th or 4th pick. Our round, and he didn't go and dazzle anybody. He came back late. He got re-injured. Every week went, oh, he's going to be back week 4. Oh, he's going to be back week 5. Oh, he's going to be back. He had a good 3 weeks of him. I think he had like one good game. Rob Gronkowski, you are my number 4 worst fantasy pick. Number 5, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, a lot of people probably took 2nd, 3rd round, not smartly, because you really don't need a quarterback that early. And whoever took him was probably disappointed because there was a lot of 20-point games for the Patriots. There was a lot of, 10 or 13-10 against the Jets. He was a disappointment. He didn't, we can all blame. He didn't have his weapons, but you should expect more from Tom Brady. Number 6, Mike Wallace. Now, he kind of got hot late, kind of like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been getting hot a little bit. But other than that, like the first part of the season, it was Brian Hartline, and it was Brandon Gibson that were really the wide receivers that you should plug in as the 3. Mike Wallace was drafted to be a 1 probably in a lot of your leagues, and he wasn't a 1. He was a flex. He was a 3. And then, later on around championship time, which is nice, but when you spend a high draft pick, he should help you get to the championship round. Number 7, Roddy White. Roddy White, he had the same thing with Gronkowski. When is he coming back? And then when he did get back, was hurt, didn't play well. Julio Jones was gone. Harry Douglas was the wide receiver of the year for the Falcons. Now, Roddy White's come on again, like the last 2 end of the year, but he probably went 4th round in a lot of people's leagues. Number 8, Jordy Nelson. Now, Jordy Nelson was a nice draft pick until Aaron Rodgers went down. And then you have Matt Flynn, Scott Tolzien, Seneca Wallace. And, it's not really Jordy Nelson's fault, but a lot of people thought that he was going to have a bounce back year. Greg Jennings is gone. He's going to be the number 1 receiver for Aaron Rodgers, and it just didn't work out. Number 9, Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller was a huge disappointment. I drafted him like Ray Rice pretty early, and I didn't draft him too early. It was probably around the 5th or 6th round, but it was expected that he would take over Reggie Bush and that he was going to have a Reggie Bush type season that Reggie Bush had the past couple years with over 1,000 yards, and he didn't work out. He didn't come close to that. He was a horrible running back, got hit behind the line. Now, I know they have offensive line issues. Ryan Tannehill is one of the most hit quarterbacks, so you're probably not going to run the ball very well. But, you got to remember, that's the same offensive line that Reggie Bush ran against, and they got rid of Reggie Bush to keep this guy as a starter. Then number 10, Trent Richardson, which probably should be higher, but he was. Cleveland obviously didn't like him. If you knew Michael Lombardi didn't like him, he probably wasn't going to get the ball as much. You knew he was probably going to see a lot of split carries. But Trent Richardson went to the Colts, and everybody found belief that, oh my God, he is going to be a bell cow back. He's going to be like the next Walter Payton, he's going to be Lorenzo Neal or something, and he wasn't. He was, he had his San Francisco game in the last week against Kansas City, the week before that, I think it was against Tennessee. Other than that, where have you been, Trent Richardson? All right, guys, top 10 disappointments. You know what's coming up tomorrow, special. We're giving out presents. And then other than that, Thursday, Friday, normal, regular season games. They split it. People who are on the edge of on the edge of playoffs, and then the other teams that are already in or aren't in that are just playing for either draft position or position in the playoff seedings. Then we're going to look at the seedings of the playoffs, how I see it. And then we're going to go through the BCS games, going to go through the power rankings and news. Big week this week. Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays. Hope everything is going well. Enjoy yourselves. As always, like, subscribe. Big present to me would be getting a lot of views. Just keep on watching, guys. Thank you.